The Charlie Munger spent nearly a century studying wealth. But unlike modern gurus, he didn't focus only on how money is built. He was obsessed with understanding how it is destroyed. At 99 years old, he passed away, leaving behind an absolute certainty, almost uncomfortable to hear. Most people are not poor because they earn too little. They are poor because they commit a silent financial suicide every single month, in installments and socially accepted. Munger said the problem is rarely the salary. The problem is the shopping cart of modern life. He called these expenses wealth killers, purchases that seem normal, that society applauds, that your friends encourage, but that eat away at your financial foundation like termites in a wooden house. From the outside, everything looks solid. Inside, the collapse has already begun, but no one sees it until it's too late. Today, you will understand exactly what these traps are. The 5 categories of purchases that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett considered the biggest obstacles between an average person and true financial freedom. But first, you need to understand how Munger thought. He didn't ask, "How do I get rich?" He found that question vague, emotional, dangerous. Instead, he did something far more powerful. He inverted the problem. He used to say, "Tell me where I'm going to die, so I never go there." In the world of finance, that translates into one simple and brutal question. What would make me poor for sure? Bad debt, purchased status, impulse consumption, ego disguised as necessity. According to Munger, if you consistently avoid these mistakes, wealth stops being a mystery and becomes a natural consequence of time. And almost always, the answer was hidden in these 5 traps. First trap, the smell of new. For Munger, the biggest destroyer of middle-class wealth has 4 wheels and smells brand new. New cars. The math here isn't cruel, it's relentless. The exact second you drive off the dealership lot, the car loses between 10 and 20% of its value. Before you even get home, thousands of dollars have simply evaporated. In the first 5 years, average depreciation reaches 60%. But the real poison comes next. Most people don't pay cash, they finance, which means they pay interest on something that is financially disintegrating. Imagine a $40,000 car. Financed, it costs about $45,000 after 5 years. At that point, it's worth $16,000. You paid $45,000 to end up with $16,000. Now stop and think about this. Those $30,000 weren't just spent, they were murdered opportunities. If that same amount had been invested at average returns, in 30 years it could exceed $500,000. Munger and Buffett never bought new cars to impress anyone. To them, a car was just a transportation tool, nothing more. Everything beyond that is expensive ego. Second trap, the real estate anchor. A house that's too expensive for your income. Munger wasn't against homeownership. He was against turning real estate status into an emotional investment. The mistake starts here. People believe that the bank approved the loan, so it must be safe. But Munger said something simple. The bank does not protect your wealth. It protects its profit. When you commit 30 or 40% of your income to payments, taxes, and maintenance, you create an anchor. You become rich in bricks and poor in liquidity. No margin, no flexibility. Warren Buffett lived in the same house since 1958, not because he can't buy something better, but because living in something sufficient is exactly what allowed him to accumulate capital. Third trap, ego in decoration. This wealth killer is rarely questioned because it comes packaged as good taste. Munger observed something curious: intelligent people spending fortunes to impress visitors they barely knew. He kept the same furniture for decades. He never understood the obsession with trends. To him, buying expensive furniture on credit instead of investing that money was a lack of basic discipline. Fourth trap, technological slavery. Upgrading your phone every year, buying the most powerful laptop without needing it. Munger saw technology as a tool, not an identity. In today's world, the constant desire for the latest version is an invisible tax that the poor pay to the rich just to look successful. Fifth trap, luxury you can't afford. Financed luxury experiences, trips, restaurants, parties, all in installments, all justified by the most dangerous sentence in finance: you only live once. Munger wasn't against living well. He was against anticipating a lifestyle that hasn't been earned yet. The rule was simple: if you can't pay cash without harming your investments, then you can't afford it. Luxury should be the result of freedom, never the cause of new debt. In the end, all these purchases share the same enemy: the search for social approval. Charlie Munger made a choice very early in life. He chose financial freedom over temporary status. He preferred being a billionaire driving a simple car than a man buried in debt wearing an expensive suit. The truth is hard but liberating. The secret to wealth is not a magic formula, it's temperament. The courage to be different. The discipline to say no to things that don't build your future. It worked for him for 99 years, and if you have the necessary temperament, it will work for you too. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 traps is the hardest to avoid in your life today? Leave a comment below. I read every single one. And if you want to keep learning from the greatest investors in history, subscribe now to the Money Flow Invest. Because here, wealth is not a promise, it's a consequence.